Okay, so these are some foundations of functional movement. The first ones are going to be all about weight transference. So the first one here is forward to back. The most important thing here is to maintain a neutral spine and maintain that solid core posture. As you can see here, my upper body and lower body move in unison. So it's basically you can draw a straight line from my heels to the top of my head here, so I'm not leaning over with my upper body. Same goes for the side to side weight shift. I'm not jutting my hips out or leaning over once, dipping one shoulder or anything like that. I'm just swaying from one side to the other quite subtly and trying to keep my body in a nice straight line there with as good a posture as I can. At the start of all these exercises, it's really important to set that core posture right, so shoulders back, big deep breath, posterior tilt. Okay, then we go into thoracic rotation, so exactly the same thing, those 3 cues, and then I'm just going to rotate 45 degrees or so, or however much you can without moving those hips. So it's really important that you don't move the hips too much here. The hips should stay square on front, and you're just trying to rotate at the thoracic spine. These are great little exercises to do before you do your workouts to really cue in the correct movement patterns. Okay, next up we're going to do a squat. So this is kind of how I cue a squat. So we're going to go best postural position, posterior tilt, knees shearing forward, then anterior tilt, thoracic flexion, and then squatting down to about 90-degree angle between your thigh and your knees. And then just before I go up there, I'll do it one more time. So we go down, make sure your anterior tilt, and as you go down just here, I'm pulling back at the knees a little bit there before I go up, and then finishing off with the posterior tilt. So remain standing. Okay, then we're focusing on the hinge. So really important aspects of movement is to be able to hinge in your upper body. So this again, good postural position, then we're going to hinge, anterior tilt, see neutral spine, then bending the knees, butt goes back a little bit, and then straighten here, and that should create more tension on that back line, particularly in the hamstrings and glutes, and then you go up from there. So bending the knees, butt goes back a bit further, then we straighten the knees, more tension on that back line, and then we hinge up from there, finish with the posterior tilt. Then we're into a lunge, so I'm just going to put one foot forward, just a stride length forward, and we're going to go through the same protocol as for the squat. So same thing, going down. You can go down as low as you feel comfortable here, you don't have to go down as low as I am, and then make sure that you're rotating there just as you go down. You can see this on this side as well, so I'll just give you the other view. So I'm even rotating a little bit at the start in my upper body. Most of that weight should be on that lead leg, about 90%. Go down, and then I'm rotating on the upper body, and the same thing, pulling back at the knee there, and then stepping through. And here I'm just going to show one from a slightly lesser range of motion. So we go posterior tilt, knee shearing forward, anterior tilt, and then down just slightly this time, pulling back and then stepping through. You should feel like you've got really good power from that position. Okay, and then the final little cue here is a slam. Here we're going to practice moving our weight forward here and then pushing ourselves back onto our heels with our feet and then slamming down. In this position with the hands up, you've got to have a really good posterior tilt going, and then anterior tilt as you slam down. So you're pushing from the front of your feet to your heels and slamming down, bending the knees to finish.